everybody, and welcome to Passport to Design. This is the show where we talk about everything design business. I'm your host, Christina Richardson, and I was born in the northern part of Sweden many, many moons ago. I have a past as a construction and mechanical engineer, and in my 40s, I made the jump. And now I run an international design business. And I'm here to show you that expanding your business and working remotely or even internationally, it's doable. And if you want it, it can happen. So it's all about broaden your horizons and being open to opportunities. Let's get started. Our guest today, oh my gosh, I couldn't be more excited about him. He is an international TV star. His show even, listen to this, it even broadcasted out in the sticks up in the northern part of Sweden, and I watched. He is one of the OG Fab Fives. He's the best Fab Five. He's got his own home collection, collaborating with brands as Visual Comfort, Vanguard Furniture, Wendover Art Group, and he is one of our time's greatest interior and product designers. And okay, so from what I hear, he is a terrible driver. Thom Filicia, welcome to Passport to Design.
That's hilarious. First of all, I am not a terrible driver. I'm a bit distracted from time to time, but I am a very good driver. That's why I was always a driver on every show every TV show that I've ever done. It's because I actually am better driver than the other folks, which doesn't say a lot about the other folks.
Okay, moving on.
Well, Christina, how are you?
I'm good.
You are? Okay, good. I'm good. I just got back from, I was in Las Vegas for a home show, and I think it was 100 degrees plus. And so it's good to be back, where it's only 90 degrees plus.
Right. So you were at Market, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and you had your own tour de Thom there.
We did. Yeah. So like, you're the passport to the design business, and we had Thom. We had a Thom passport where everyone would go to the various showrooms that have my product in them, whether it was a rug showroom for Fazy, or furniture with Vanguard, or lighting with Visual Comfort, or I can't remember, I'm trying to think of the other ones, but Wendover Art Group, and then Accurate Door Hardware. So you'd go there and you'd get on your passport, you get a stamp, which was a picture of my face, which was hilarious. And then when you get all the stamps, then you submit your passport, and then we draw prizes based on that.
So you get like a free puppy or anything, something like that?
You get a rug, no, all home decor stuff. A rug, or a chair, or a piece of artwork, or stuff for your home.
Yeah.
It was fun though. It was really fun. So I was there for that. I just got back late last night, and I'm in the city now. I'm in my showroom in New York City at Sedgwick Brattle, and I was also running around doing some things for Thom Filicia Incorporated, my design company, and then had a meeting today about a potential TV show, and that was it. So that's kind of a busy week already, and it's Wednesday, midday and Wednesday. I could sure use a cocktail, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So Thom.
Yes.
For our audience who might not know your full history, I bet they're few and far apart, but can you tell us about how everything got started? Who is Thom Filicia, and where does he come from? Where does he get his incredible good looks from? Can you just tell us?
That's hilarious. Well, I appreciate the incredible looks thing, because we all know that is a big exaggeration, but I appreciate it nonetheless. I would say that, so I grew up in upstate New York, in Syracuse, New York, in an area called Sedgwick Farms, to be exact. And it's actually, the reason I'm bringing that up is it's the name of one of my companies. It's called Sedgwick Brattle, which is where I grew up. So anyways, but from upstate New York, and I Yeah, I'm a big fan. I still have a place up in the Finger Lakes on Skinny Atlas Lake, which I love. I used to be up there all the time, all weekends, and a lot of the summer I was really up there on my boat on the lake. But now I also have a place in the Hamptons in Sag Harbor, and I'm actually renovating that and living there and having fun there. I'm also single now, so
Yay.
being single on a lake in upstate New York isn't as much fun as being single in the Hamptons. I can tell you that.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, but so yeah, so I'm doing that. Also, I do a lot of work. I happen to do a lot of work, out east in the Hamptons, and it's just easier to get to and from. And it's also there's a lot more. There's a lot of folks that are single out there. A lot of single people from the New York tri-state area. So
Absolutely.
it definitely works for the dating pool a lot better than going to a lake in the middle of New York State. Where I'm like,
yeah, I can definitely see that. I mean, you have so many things going on: TV, home furnishings. You're renovating this house. You're everywhere
well,
speaking.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, so yeah. So I'm from upstate New York, and then I have a degree in interior design actually from Syracuse University. I have two brothers, one that lives in New York City in the Hamptons and has two children and is married. And then I have another brother who lives in California who also he has three kids and a grandchild on the way. And he's also married, both straight. And that's kind of and I live in New York City. When I graduated from college, I worked for Parish-Hadley, then Robert Metzger, then Jeffrey Bilhuber, and then I went off on my own when I was about 29 years old, which was many moons ago. And I had my own design firm that I still have today, Thom Filicia Incorporated. And if you want to see what we do, you can go to Thom Filicia Portfolio, which will show you a lot of the work that we do. Thom Filicia Incorporated is the company that our brick and sort of our that's the design firm. And then and so yeah, I was doing that. I had that for about 5 years, and I started working in television. I ended up working on Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, so I did that. I did that for like 6-7 years, I think. And then I did I can't remember the shows I did. Dress My Nest, Tacky House,
Get a Room.
Get a Room. Yep, that was back on Bravo with Carson.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also done a bunch of things with HGTV. I was a host or like a judge or whatever I did for them for years. And then I don't know. I just kind of just been working in that space. I did a little thing for charity as a celebrity guest on RuPaul, which was really fun. And I don't know, that was it. So I've done a bunch of really interesting things in all those spaces, but I've always had the design company.
Yeah.
Thom Filicia Incorporated. And I think our showroom, Sedgwick and Brattle, has existed now for, I'm going to say 7 years, 6 years, something like that. And then that's a guess because I don't remember. And then Thom Filicia Home Collection, which is, we have licensed partners. So we have Vanguard is our furniture partner, Fazy is our rug partner, Wendover is our art partner, Cyan is our accessories partner, Kravet is our textile partner, our curtain hardware and all of that is with God, I can't even think. Oh my God. That is Classical Elements. And then Accurate is our door hardware and our cabinet pulls. And did I say rugs? Artwork.
Yeah, you said rugs.
Accessories. I'm like looking around right now. I'm in the showroom. Like, what else? Textiles. I think we got it all, Vanguard. So yeah, so I've been doing a lot of that. We are now doing outdoor rugs, outdoor textiles. We're now also going to be doing outdoor furniture. or as we call it, indoor outdoor, because it's so beautiful you can use it on the inside. So yeah, so that's kind of what we're up to. And and I don't know that
Yeah.
I'm a dog dad. I've got a little dog,
He's so
Lago.
cute. He's
Yeah,
so cute.
he's often with me. He's not with me today because we got in last night very late. He was exhausted. He looked at me this morning like, I don't want to get out of bed. So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing.
That was, yeah. And I mean, I mean, what really, I mean, you have so many things going on. There's like, I can't even fathom what you're going through on a daily basis. But like, what gets you up in the morning? What's your driving force to, I mean, you're incredibly successful and creative and how
I would say fear.
is it
Is what
fear-based?
gets me out of bed in the morning.
Oh, that usually
Mostly
doesn't
fear.
work.
Yeah. Just terrified. No, I would say just the combination of just things I need to do that I'm excited about, whether it's today I was excited. I had a meeting with somebody that I was excited about. I was excited to get to the office and actually kind of get caught up on what was going on while I was away for a couple of days, and also kind of getting myself organized so that I can go away for the weekend, which I'm excited about. Go out to the house in the Hamptons, and then also, I don't know, just like, I mean, there's a list of things that I need to kind of, that I'm excited to, work on and get done. I mean, one of the things I want to do is we're working on a book, which it's taking a lot longer than I'd hoped, but we're moving that along, and I wanted to get that sort of sorted because it's sort of been in the back of my mind as to getting that rolling, and just like a whole bunch of things, just like it all collectively is exciting at a certain level and also terrifying, and also just a lot of sort of details. Also, I'm excited about shopping for clients and going to look at really beautiful vintage and antique pieces and getting things for our showroom. I was, so it's like there's a lot of hats and kind of jump from one thing to the next, and I kind of like,
that's kind of what keeps you going. So
yeah, I'd say that's sort of the thing that kind of keeps me moving quickly, is that there are a lot of different things happening at once. So I have to be proficient at making quick decisions and moving quickly and jumping from one sort of idea to the next and one sort of topic or concept, going from looking at things for a private client and then looking at things for our showroom and then looking at things for High Point, the market that's coming up in the fall that we are getting ready for, and then looking at, just designs that we're working on. So it's just like, kind of, always being sort of flexible and easy to sort of jump.
Yeah. So it's kind of fear, excitement
driven. Yeah.
Interesting.
Fear, excitement, terror.
Yeah, terror. Well, but I mean, so I mean, I know you mostly from all the TV shows you've done, and it's I mean, I watched Get a Room with Carson and Thom like 3 times because it's a good design show, but it's also very fun to watch.
Yeah.
I know I listened to a podcast where you told the story about how you got casted. It was in an elevator.
Oh, well, I didn't actually get cast in the elevator, but I did make the connection with a woman who is a casting director. And I was in my office in then Soho, and at that time I had a dog named Paco, who was a rescue, and it was like a Friday night in the late, probably September, I think, and it was, Friday night, everyone's excited, the weekend starting, and I finally got into the elevator. My dog was looking at me like desperately wanting to go out, And I finally got into the elevator, and there was a million people in the elevator. It happened to be all women in the elevator except for me and my dog. And and then the elevator got stuck in between the floor below us, which was like on the, I don't know, the 9th floor or so. And we thought like we'd just get stuck and then unstuck and we'd keep going, but it ended up, we were in there for about an hour, maybe a little over an hour. And in that time, I was trying to get the fire department or somebody or someone in the building to kind of get us out or unstuck, or whatever, however, whatever you do to move an elevator, which I'm not really familiar with, but they couldn't make it happen. So the fire department had to get called, and then we had to wait for them. And there was a woman who was like really, really panicking, and she just was like, "Oh my God, I've got really bad news. I'm severely claustrophobic." And she was like sitting on the floor at this point. And I said, "Well, I've got really bad news. My dog, if you don't play with him, is literally going to take a dump on you." Because he was really excited about going out because he had to go. So I don't know if he was going to go 1 or 2, but something was going to happen. So, but I was trying to keep her like, occupied so that she wouldn't continue to sort of de-escalate into crazy town because she was getting really nervous. So, or escalate into crazy town. And so she was having fun with the dog, and I'm making jokes and stuff. And then I asked her if she was single, and she was. So I said, "We got to get ready because the fire department's coming." And I don't know if you've seen the calendar of these firemen, but they're real cute. So we were joking about that. And then the firemen, they opened the roof, and I was the one, I was like, they put the ladder down, and I went up, and I go, "Bad news. It's not the fire department. Guys from that calendar, I apologize in advance." And so but they got us out. They looked like the dads of the guys that were in that calendar. And it was
And you were like,
yeah, I was like, well, they were like, they look like retired fire. I think the people they send out to get people out of an elevator are like people who retired from the fire department like 15 years ago, so you're not getting their most active
no,
group. Yeah, you're
not
getting
the
probably
hot
why it also
old
took an
cranky
hour and
guys.
20 minutes to get to us was because they were moving slow. But it was great. They came, they were amazing. They were so lovely. The fire department was incredible, and they got us out. And then we were in the lobby, and this woman was like, "Are you a comedian?" And I said, "No." I said, "I'm an interior designer." And they said, "My clients might think I'm a comedian." But because of my work. But anyway, so that was it. Then and we just made a connection, and the next thing I know, a month later, she was calling me saying, "I think there's this thing that you need to do on TV, and I want to introduce you to these people." And that's how it all happened.
Wow, I mean, that's incredible. But
Yeah.
listening to this story, all I could think about was like, I hope this dog keeps it together. Like I was so nervous. It was
Oh, he was good. He was good. He was fine. I wasn't. He was, yeah. If we were in there another couple hours, I think that could have gone real south. But
yeah.
he was good. He was actually great, and he loved the attention, and he was great with the woman. And it was funny. The girl that I met through the girl that was in the elevator that was asking me in the lobby if I was a comedian or something. Her name was Greg. So it was kind of a hard name to forget. Her name was Craig. So it was like, I've not met a lot of girls named Craig.
No.
So I thought it was cool that she had a boy's name. And that was kind of, yeah. And it was just like, it was not anything to do with, she was just, from what I knew, it was just her mom and dad named her Greg.
Yeah.
And it was like, at birth. So it wasn't like she identified as a Greg or anything. It was just, her name was Greg.
Her name was Greg. So
yeah, it was really funny. So it was easy name to remember. And so she called me like 2 months later, and they're like, "There's a Greg on the phone, but it's a girl." And I was like, "Oh, I know exactly who that is."
I know.
There's no question that the person is. But yeah, so that was a really fun.
That's such a fun story. And so I have a question for you.
Yes.
So there are so many great designers that struggle with the entrepreneurship. And then you have the entrepreneurs that are probably, mediocre designer at its best. And then you have the garden variety in between, right? But you seem to be having both. And so for the audience, listening, what personal qualities and abilities would you say are the most important from a design perspective, and then what's most important from an entrepreneurial perspective to become as successful as you are?
Well, two things I would say is I think it's really great to start out being humble, and also always kind of look at what you're doing as sort of your goal is to be happy where you are, but set your goals a little bit further than you think maybe you can achieve, so that you go even a little bit further. But I think a lot of it is being a practical thinker at the same time being a creative thinker. I think is the way I look at it, is having a practical mind in terms of how to make things happen, how to in terms of business, and being thoughtful about wanting to learn, being practical and wanting to learn.
Mm.
So being open to conversations and ideas about the finances, or even I don't know, the, just how a contract is built, or, what would make more sense, what would be more efficient, trying to do that. And it doesn't always work. And, and also then you have the people in your office. Some people are more efficient than others, or more able to do those kinds of things. And you kind of bounce ideas off of each other and try to keep things moving in a direction where you feel like there's a great opportunity to support the design process and the creativity, but at the same time, being a practical business person, and being thoughtful about what you're doing and how to do it, efficiently, and having a process. And those are all things I learned along the way, and not always the easiest. You learn from your mistakes, and you learn from, having conversations. I love talking to other designers and creative people that are doing interesting things, and understanding. So there are a lot of very creative people that are doing very, very archaic business things. And then there are some designers that are just really thoughtful business people at the same time as being creative people. So I've just decided to latch onto that.
Yeah. And being scared and fear-based,
Yeah.
Just
when you wake up and you're thinking you're hustling because you want to make it happen. And you're a little concerned that if it doesn't, what happens? So you just, being practical and not being arrogant, and not thinking that I think when people think they're too big to fail is when they fail.
Oh, for sure. When you start patting your own shoulder, that's the road out. It's downhill there. Yeah. I totally agree.
Yeah.
And so I would, from listening to you now, communication is one of the major players, both from a design perspective and an entrepreneurial perspective. And I talk to a lot of designers, and they say the same thing, communication, and especially with clients as well. And so I have a question regarding communicating with clients, is how do you communicate to be able to sell your ideas and convince them that this is the right way to go? How do you get them to support your ideas? Do you have
I would say, well, first of all, I just think, again, it's just bringing it into a conversation that they can relate to. So, if your client is, has a really active family/social life, if you come to them and you're really want to do something that you think is an important part of the design that would be sort of bespoke to their lifestyle, then you kind of communicate with them about it and say like, hey, this is going to be a really great way for you to be able to do all of the things that you love to do. You love to cook, you love to entertain, you love to have your kids around. So let's design this space so that it can actually accommodate all of those things. And if you're going to spend all of this money, at least let's give you something that gives you the foundation of what you need so that you're happy. Because if you're in a kitchen way over there with walls in between you and your guests and your family, you're not going to be happy being back there. And I don't think you're going to want to do it. And I know you love cooking. So let's design this space. Let's rethink this space and put time and effort into making sure that you have the foundation that you need to make this work for you and your family. Because having an open kitchen can be very different from house to house, person to person, client to client, family to family. Because not everybody lives the same way, entertains the same way, cooks. You know, some people have no kids or 2 kids, some people have 6 kids, you know, so it's like, you really have to be thoughtful about when you're designing that it's something that really makes sense for the people or the person or the brand that you're working for. And I'll say that once you explain something to somebody that's really bespoke and really custom tailored to sort of their lifestyle and their point of view, I feel like it's very rare that they don't listen.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, it sounds like, I mean, function first, right? It's always function first.
Come up with sort of how this is going to make sense and why this is going to work really well. And making it beautiful is like the easy part.
Yeah, and I find like function is usually beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain that, but
I would say anything that functions well generally is appreciated at multiple levels. So I think, you know, I think whether it's a home or just whatever, I mean, it's just, I mean, going into a space, going into a restaurant where, you know, you can tell that it's like difficult for people to get from where they are to where they need to be and get food there and all this other stuff, you start to feel that anxiety, you know, when you're in a space that is very fluid and works well and it's nice and people enjoy being in it. And, you know, it's like all of a sudden you get that energy. It's just a very different environment.
True. I mean, well, I'm a designer too, so yes.
So you get it. Yeah,
I get it. I totally get it.
That's your jam.
Damn. So, any, like, when it comes to clients, I mean, we're part shrinks, part sellers, part, you know, everything. And I know there's been a lot of talk about red flags and like, do you have any specific red flags when it comes to clients' behavior?
Yeah, I mean, I think whenever clients talk about like, you know, their friends will be like so impressed with this or something. When you can tell it's a little bit about showing off or maybe winning or being like sort of anything like that, or when people want to have things around them that are very sort of, I would say, high end or very like rare or refined, but they're afraid to live with it. I think that's a bad sign. I think that anybody who's had like 7 designers and it's never worked out,
oh gosh,
red flag, you know, and that's usually the same person that's had 6 contractors, 5 architects, and 13 best friends that they don't talk to anymore. And, you know, so you can kind of clue into certain personality types, you know, or there are people that are just need to control everything. And they, you know, no matter what you say, you kind of have to put it into them. Oh, you know, and sometimes you have clients that you say like, oh, I loved your idea. And they look at you like, what idea? And you go, the one where you wanted to do that beautiful, like mohair sofa. And they're like, yeah, that is a good idea. Meanwhile, they never said that. Sometimes you have to do that with clients. Like you have to make it their idea so that they feel good about it. But, you know, it's like, I would just say the red flag is the same red flags you would use for meeting a new friend. You know, If all of a sudden it's, there's a lot of winning and like ego and,
Right.
yeah, or just, trying desperately to, cut corners. That's another really, clients spend more time trying to save money and they end up losing money and time.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're not going to be happy, and you know it, and they know it, but they keep going. So,
But they keep doing it, and then they're
Yeah.
unhappy, and then of course they blame everybody around them but themselves.
mm,
So that's always a red flag. But
Yeah.
it's like it's hard sometimes to see all those red flags. When you're just meeting people.
Yeah.
So it's a little difficult, but you get better at it over the years. Same
Yeah.
thing with
Same thing with friends,
same thing with contractors, same thing with same thing with friends, for
Mm.
sure.
True. Wow. Wow. So we're kind of closing up towards the end here, and I have a
Yeah.
segment called Three Quick Ones.
All righty. 3 quick ones.
It's
Wow.
not quick and dirty ones. It's just quick ones.
I think quick and dirty sounds fun though, but go ahead.
Quick and dirty. No. Okay. So, are you ready?
Yeah.
Favorite designer apart from you and I, of course.
Favorite designer apart from the two of us, I would say, I always loved Albert Hadley. I thought he was he was a gentleman. He was a designer's designer. I worked for him. He was a real inspiration, I think, to so many designers, past and present, that I thought he was really great. I also loved, I thought he was just he was a real inspiration to designers. So I think that's one of my favorite designers.
Great. Yeah. We're going to put it down here for everybody. So they have the link.
Yeah. Albert Hadley, he was great. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, biggest no-no when it comes to interior design.
Biggest no-no in interior design is not trusting your gut, like going with the things that you're excited about and really following your aesthetic and your passion and your point of view, and trusting yourself. I mean, it's not always about it being the right answer, but if it's something that's exciting to you or to your client, I think it's really important to try to figure out a way to make that happen. Because I think being emotionally connected to your project and loving your project, whether it's a project you're doing for a client or you're doing for yourself, I think that that's really important. And there's always a great solution to make something work. So, and that is what a creative problem solver does. And that's what I think designers a lot of times are looking at a situation, at a room and the limitations, or maybe it's so big that, it's how do you make this feel intimate, and how do you make it feel comfortable, and how do you make it feel human? That's creative problem solving. So I think that's a really awesome skill to have and to exercise, because the more you exercise, the better you are at it.
Amen, brother. It's yes, absolutely. 100%. So yeah, I couldn't.
Yeah. So go with your gut, trust your instincts.
Go with your gut.
Make it happen. Yeah.
Make it happen.
I mean, yeah. There's a
Yeah.
way to make it happen. It's probably very different than what you first thought, but it keeps the energy and the momentum, and I think that it's it just trust your instincts, because there's something there.
Yeah. Speaking of, just a little side path here.
Yeah.
Do you manifest? Because everybody's manifesting right now.
I mean, I think we've always done it. I just don't think people really had a word for it and didn't really understand it as a thing. I think, it's like when you think a lot about something and you're excited about something and you put a lot of energy into that concept or that idea, I think those things tend to be the things that happen in your life, very often when you're talking to friends about something or a place or a trip or a location, all of a sudden 3 days later, someone invites you on a trip to go to that location. And you're like, oh my God, that's so crazy. We were just talking about that. So I
Yeah.
really think that like, just, yeah, I think, you know, thinking about it, communicating, yeah, manifesting. I mean, I think the word has maybe put like sort of a label on it, but I just think intuitively, I think it's that thing that most people have been doing. Most people that make things happen have been doing this sort of intuitively or authentically without really understanding what they were doing. Um,
Yeah.
and those things would happen. I mean, I just think that now we're recognizing it as something that's valid. And so now, because of that, we have to give it a name and sort of identify it as something, which is good and bad, I think. But nonetheless, I think that I do believe in it. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't, but then I realized, like you, I've done it all along.
Right now, I can envision myself drinking a cocktail, and I have a feeling that'll happen soon.
Yeah, same. But I will have a cup of tea because I'm not there yet. I'm not, it's too early. But
Yeah. Got it. Right. Yeah. Time wise. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Talking
I'm
about
with you.
tea. Talking about tea. The last question.
Yes.
What's your standard Starbucks order?
Oh, standard Starbucks order is probably almond milk latte with agave.
Agave? Oh yeah, like sweetener.
Yeah, a little agave. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Mine is venti, Earl Grey, 1 tea bag, and a splash of milk.
Nice. I like that. I like Earl Grey with a splash of milk.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
It's so
Yeah.
nice.
I only do almond milk. I don't know. It feels, when you get used to it, I love it. It's very refreshing. It's light, and apparently it's just a lot easier for your body to deal with. I still eat dairy and all that, but I just try to I was told that most men carry an extra, I think it's like 6 pounds of dairy weight, and women carry like 9 or 10 pounds of dairy weight.
And I must carry, like, all my weight is dairy.
Really, dairy weight? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just good sometimes to give your body a minute. I said by having the almond milk, that's why I put it in the coffee. It just gives you a chance to kind of let the dairy that you are enjoying and eating. Because sometimes I feel like I don't enjoy the dairy that I use, like in like coffee and stuff, as much as I do chocolate or or
Yeah.
like
The
things that are
chocolate
like
weight
dairy,
is that.
like like ice cream. You know what I mean? So it's like I'd rather not get rid of that
Yeah.
and just curb the, but yeah, so
Make the
that's my
calories
goal.
count. Like,
Yeah, and I have to do one thing that's healthy in my life, so it's, and I
that's
don't
all.
even know if it's healthy. Let's see, we'll find out in about 10 years.
Yeah. Well, oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much, Thom. This has been so much fun.
Thank you, Christina. This has been so much fun. It was really great chatting with you. I loved it.
Yes, yes. And so once again, where can we follow you on social
Got
media?
it. Well, you can go, so yeah, so at Thom Filicia, THOM. There's an H in Thom, THOM, FILICIA, Filicia, all I's, no E. And so it's Thom at Thom Filicia, at Thom Filicia on Instagram. And you can pretty much, Sedgwick and Brattle, at Sedgwick and Brattle, at Thom Filicia Incorporated, at Thom Filicia. And Thom Filicia, you can do Thom Filicia portfolio. You can see the work that we do, and I don't know what else do we do. Is there something else? I'm probably missing something, but yeah, that's kind of what. Yeah, Instagram, and probably the easiest way to just sort of see what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah, and I'll put everything down here.
Okay,
and
great.
also, if there's like a hot gay fireman watching, go to Sag Harbor.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Yeah. Go to at Thom Filicia on Instagram.
DM me.
Yeah. I don't even care if you're not a fireman, just any hot man watching.
Okay, we got you. Okay.
I might even sooner than later, it might just be any hot person, just to kind of, I don't want to be restrictive at this point.
Okay, so you're widening your up. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm opening my shop.
Yeah, we're here. I'm here to help. Okay. Thank you so much, Thom.
Okay, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Mwah.
And-
Thank you.
Mwah.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao. Thank you.
Protect your business. You've worked hard to build it. DSA Insure. Insurance for interior designers.